Hi Aquarius, welcome to your reading, and this is a reading for Aquarius Sun, Moon and Rising for the month of April 2021. And Aquarius, keep in mind that this is a general reading, so it might not resonate for all of you, and if it doesn't, feel free to check your other placements here in the channel as well. And as always, I already got your cards in the pre-shuffle, so we can already start. And I open up with a card that represents you, that represents your energy in the month of April. How are you showing up at this moment? So we got the Four of Cups. Quite closed off. Quite closed off this energy. Emotionally closed off, because the Four of Cups is a card of boredom, is a card of things that are being offered but are constantly being denied. Okay? And what I feel here, I'm getting two messages actually already with this card. In one of the cases, it's just because there is almost an inner sense of denial, of wanting to accept anything that comes from the outside. You know, so like, no, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it, stop offering it, I don't want it. And in another case, I see this big cup here that has a flower growing up on top of it. And I feel that you keep denying everything because you have one thing set in your mind that you want, you know? So it's almost an idealization of that one thing that will make you happy, that one thing that will be perfect for you. So you keep denying all the others. And this can be good or bad. We will see with the rest of the cards. If you follow the channel, then you know that I never check the cards beforehand, so I'm gonna check them for the first time here with you. But if this is good or not, that you are waiting for that one thing that will make you happy, then we'll see. But the first thing that comes to my mind is that happiness comes from the inside. And I think that if we keep outsourcing it and expecting something outside of us to fulfill us and to fit in with us, that's a kind of a recipe for disaster, you know? So for instance, if we think that, oh, when that person who is perfect and will understand me and completely, when that person shows up, then I will be happy, then I will have the perfect relationship. That's a recipe for disaster, because at the transformation, the happiness, the fulfillment needs to come from the inside. We can't expect someone else to fulfill us. When we feel fulfilled with ourselves, then we attract the right person who fits in with that. And I don't know exactly why I'm saying this. I'm probably saying this for one of you specifically, or for some of you specifically, because I think that this is a very specific message, but this is something that is coming to me now. So I need to say this for whoever this is. But fulfillment is something that needs to come from the inside. When we feel fulfilled with ourselves, when we feel that our life is complete, then we attract the people who are like-minded and with whom we can build something together. But if we keep denying situations and people, telling ourselves that when the perfect one comes, then it will be easy, then it will be magic, then it will be perfect, that's just an illusion that we are telling ourselves. And also an excuse not to work on ourselves and not to work on our own happiness. Okay, Aquarius? So be mindful of that. For whoever it is out there, be mindful of that, okay? But for some of you, it can be indeed that you just don't want to settle. Maybe for some of you, you just don't want to settle for just anything. You will only settle for that thing that is good enough for you, for the one thing that is a good match for you, okay? So for some of you, it can be that as well. It can be in a very positive way that this boredom and denial is coming up here. So let's see. So now we take a look at your environment card. What is are the people around you showing up? How is the environment showing up to you? Wow, and we have the Nine of Swords. Okay. I do think that that first message actually that I said is what applies the most, because the thing is, the Nine of Swords is a card of nightmares. So there is this image here, and it's a bunny being, yeah, uh, going through with a sword, going through it. It's actually quite a strong image, but this is a nightmare. So the Nine of Swords is a card of nightmares, of catastrophizing things, seeing things worse than they actually are. Okay, and actually I don't see, because whenever this card shows up, for me this is not the reality, this is the fear, this is the nightmare, this is the dream. Okay, this is the bad dream, and this is the boogeyman. So when this card shows up in the environment, I can tell you for sure that this is your perception of the environment. This is not how things really are. And then now it makes a lot of sense why you're showing up as this Four of Cups. I think that you are catastrophizing things. You are painting peoples and situations way worse than they actually are. You are trying to see people in a bad way. Oh well, you're not trying. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this to attack you, Aquarius. I think that this is just a product of things that happen to you. You know, I don't blame you for seeing people like that, and I don't think that it's your fault. And I don't think that this is done out of bad intentions. But I think that the situations that you have been through made you see your environment, made you see people around you in a very pessimistic way. And that leads to this sense of isolation, not wanting to connect, not wanting to receive anything that is coming towards you, because you are looking outside and you are seeing the nightmare. You are seeing things way worse than they actually are. You are seeing people way worse than they actually are. So this is something here that I would definitely pay attention to and watch out for during this month. Okay, not to catastrophize things too much. So now we are gonna open your totem, for your animal totem for the month, in the animal spirit deck, and we are gonna see what is an energy that is trying to make its way in your life, something that is trying to call your attention, and take this as an extra message if you have seen, or if you see during this month, this animal represented by this card anywhere, either personally, like in person, or online, or hear it in a music, or whatever it is. Okay, so let's see what is the message for you. Koi fish spirit, there is always enough. So there is this sense of boredom, there is the sense of not wanting, but I also see that there is a need to be more grateful and more optimistic this month, and to know that you will be supplied. You will be taken care of. You don't need to see the environment in such pessimistic lenses. There is always enough. So if you have been a bit stuck in a lack mentality, I would really watch out for that, and just be more grateful for the things that you have. Like, try to count your blessings, you know, try to actively remember what are the things in your life that you're grateful for. Because you can be in a bit of a mentality of thinking that everything's lacking in your life this month, okay? So it's important to remember to be grateful. And to trust that you will be supplied. You will have what you need. So let's take a look now at your tarot cards for the month. Page of Swords in the reverse. Three of Swords in the reverse. The Sun. Okay, so at least there is a transformation going on. And this brings a lot of hope to this month. Oh, I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. Hi Aquarius, I'm back. I just received a call, so I had to stop the recording for a minute. Okay, so yeah, so I do see the transformation here going on with the Sun card. Even though there is this energy of resistance, there is a transformation going on behind the scenes, which is something that is very good here. The Star in the reverse, that's your card. Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. Seven of Wands. Okay, this transformation will not come without effort. Okay, I do see that it won't come easy. Eight of Cups in the reverse. There is a big resistance in letting go of some habits. Nine of Swords in the reverse. And Ace of Swords. Okay. Okay. How I feel is that this month will start with a bump. You know, it's like it will go down before it starts getting better again. And so I already let you know, Aquarius, that this is not gonna be an easy reading. And if you follow my channel, you know that my readings are not lovey-dovey and oh, this will be an amazing month and all happiness. I'm very straightforward in my messages, and I'll tell you what I see that you need to hear right now. And this might not be for all of you, but for those who need to receive this message, I hope it helps, because we start up here with this Page of Swords in the reverse and the Three of Swords in the reverse as well. The Page of Swords is a card of Aquarius, and he's very communicative. Okay, so he's quick and witty in his communication. He speaks his mind. He is also a bit of Gemini kind of energy here, but in the reverse I see that there is a difficulty in communicating, and especially communicating what you feel, because this is tied down with this Seven of Swords, with the Three of Swords in the reverse here. The Three of Swords shows that there is an inner transformation that needs to take place, a heart broken. It doesn't need to be romantic, but it's just a painful event. You know, it can be an old event or a recent event, but there is a healing here that needs to happen. But with the Page of Swords in the reverse tied up to it, first, you're not embracing this transformation as much as you should be. So there is a tendency of avoiding it, and also being able to communicate, to talk about it with other people. Okay, so there is a lot of communication being held on here, held back. And why is it so important to go through this transformation? Because ultimately it's leading you towards the sun. And in the tarot, in the major arcana, we have the Tower. The Tower is a very hurtful or sudden event that really breaks down the ground underneath you. And that leads to the Star, which is your card, and it's a card of healing. After the Star, we go through the Moon, which is a time in which we are a bit lost. We don't know what else to trust, but we keep on going because we know that there's no other place to go, and we just need to keep walking forward. And eventually we get to the Sun, which is a lot of clarity about ourselves and happiness when we are truly fulfilled. Okay, so to see this transformation here, this healing that needs to take place, I see that it will take you to the Sun. And if you take on this challenge this month, to be open also with yourself about pain, about the pain that you feel, about painful events that you went through. If you are honest about it with yourself, it will eventually take you to the Sun. It will eventually help you to be more happy, to be more fulfilled, to be more confident, to reach a true level of confidence. But in order for that to happen, you need to go through this transformation. And the thing is, I remember that in your reading last month, we talked about it. We saw the same avoidance of going through transformation. We saw exactly the same avoidance. And here we are again. So this is very important for you to open up that emotional space in you. I know that Aquarius is not a zodiac that likes to be connected with their own emotions. They prefer to live on the mind, which is something that I completely understand, because I have my moon in Gemini. So for me, it's also way easier to think my emotions instead of feeling them. And Aquarius is a lot about it as well. So whatever placement you have in Aquarius, either your sun, your moon, and your rising, I know that you are very connected to the mental aspect, that you tend to rationalize things. But this is a month that you really need to connect with your emotions. Also because this is leading to the Sun, and the Sun is a card of Leo, which is your opposite sign. Okay, and Leo is all about intense emotional connections. It's about truly connecting with yourself and with other people, realizing that inner light that shines within you. So it's super important for you to feel your feelings, even if they are painful, even if they are scary, even if they are showing you something that you don't really want to see, that you don't want to acknowledge, you don't want to feel that. It's still important to allow yourself to feel it so that you can get over with. Because the thing is, I keep seeing this image that is like the pain comes, and then instead of feeling it, you'll say like, nah, later. And then the pain comes, instead of feeling it, later. And later, it's not going anywhere. It's just being repressed. And whatever is repressed comes out eventually. Okay? It will come out. And if it doesn't come out emotionally, I had a similar talk with Capricorn. If it doesn't come out emotionally, it will come out physically. It will manifest in your physical body. So it's very important not to repress your emotions. Whatever pain you have been feeling, is very important not to repress them. Because I see the same message being repeated down here. The star in the reverse, the star is your card and it's coming in the reverse, or you're out of your element here. There is a healing that you are avoiding going through. And the thing is, you might pretend that avoiding this healing is not impacting you, but I can see that it is, because it's affecting your self-confidence. With the Nine of Pentacles here in the reverse, I can see that you don't feel good being alone now. Because when the Nine of Pentacles is standing, even though Aquarius is a very independent zodiac, with the Aquarius card in the reverse and the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, because the Nine of Pentacles is all about being self-reliant. It's about being independent and fulfilled in oneself. You know, she has everything she needs in herself, but it's in the reverse. So I see that you are not really feeling completely confident here. Avoiding this pain, avoiding this healing, avoiding this transformation is not making you feel good about yourself. And this avoidance is happening because it's just like, too much work, you know? Too much work, too much effort, too much problem going through that, too much problem dealing with that. Let's leave it for the future Aquarius, you know? Let's leave for my next life. Yeah, it is a lot of effort. It is a lot of work. It is painful, but it's something that eventually needs to be done. Because as I said, you might think that you are repress it until it disappears, and it's not gonna disappear. It is not. It will eventually come out. And I think that, as I said, the month would start with a bump, but it would eventually come up again. And I do think that, because of this last row, I think that, so for a long time, there was this denial in letting go of something here. And whatever this thing is, either if this was a relationship that ended, if this was a pattern within yourself that you needed to abandon in order to move to a better version of yourself, if this was past regrets or resentments or pain, whatever this thing was, I see this big denial and completely letting go of it. Also because it's under the star in the reverse, right? And under the Page of Swords in the reverse as well. So not wanting to acknowledge it, not wanting to talk about it. By consequence, avoiding healing it. Avoiding letting go of it. If you don't heal it, you don't let it go completely. Okay, so there was this denial of letting go of something completely here, leaving something in the past. But I see that eventually you are coming out of it this month, because we have the Nine of Swords again. And remember that we got the Nine of Swords in the environment. We got the Nine of Swords in the environment. So the projection of that in people are too difficult. People are not trustworthy. So I'm not going to accept anything that comes from someone else right now, because I cannot trust them. They will hurt me. But I see you coming out of that energy, because now we have the Nine of Swords here in the reverse. So you are coming out of this scared, anxious energy. And eventually you are gaining a lot of clarity about yourself and about the situation. But I think that this will come, if it doesn't come through at the end of the month, it's gonna come next month. But I see that by the end of the month you will start realizing a bit more about it. You will start gaining a bit more clarity over it with this Ace of Swords here. So the month does start with a bump, in which you will soak in and trying to avoid your feelings, try to repress it, pushing it away, okay? Losing your self-confidence, your self-worth because of that, because of not wanting to acknowledge these things, but eventually understanding that you do need to let it go. And then coming out of that anxiety, coming out of that pessimism, and eventually gaining more clarity over what you're gonna do. So I'm very curious to see how your next months are gonna look like, because I feel that you are now gaining, you will start gaining the awareness over what you need to do, but then maybe only in the next few months you're gonna start really doing that. So this is the beginning of that moment of clarity, of that realization. Okay, Aquarius? So let's get some oracle cards for you. So any messages for Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Rising for April 2021? Freedom. And look at this card, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And I see this as a true freedom, because right in the middle, right in the very center of your reading, we have this Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, which is a card of freedom. Because when you are completely self-reliant, when you have your own self-worth, this is the ultimate freedom. And you can see that she has a bird on her hand as well, representing that freedom. And then here we got the bird. And I see that this freedom here is truly achieved when you heal, when you accept yourself for who you are, the good and the bad parts. And that's the thing, because sometimes we think that if I lie to myself about my bad parts, if I pretend that they don't exist, then I'm all good and I'm feeling great. It doesn't work like that. Psychologically, humans don't work like that. Your subconscious is smarter than that. You can't fool it. It's only when you truly acknowledge and accept the bad parts of you, the parts that need to be worked on, and accept yourself for whom you really are, with all your flaws and all the good things as well. That's when you gain true freedom, because you reach this place of authenticity, which is what Aquarius is all about. Because Aquarius is one of the most authentic zodiacs. But you can only be truly authentic when you accept every single part of you, including the ones that you are not proud of. Wow. Deep knowing. Do I even need to say anything? Because I have been talking about it for the last 20 minutes, right? That deep knowing about yourself, seeing yourself, understanding yourself, accepting yourself, assessing your intuition. Any final card for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising? And we got the Elk. The true confidence, being completely reliable, because we have the image of the sun here. And his horns are on fire. And it really reminds me of that sun card, of achieving a true, authentic, confident self-expression. I think that there is a huge potential here for you to achieve a great sense of self after this month. But in order to do that, you need to do the hard work. And the hard work includes accepting these parts of yourself that you're not proud of, that you want to shut off, that you want to pretend that are not in there. But by doing that, you have no idea of what potential is locked in there. Okay, Aquarius, so that's all I have for you this month, and I hope you enjoyed your reading. I know it was quite a heavy reading today. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. When you like the video down below, it really helps the channel to gain more visibility, because then YouTube recommend this video for more people when it has more likes. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.